Town of McCandless regular business meeting for October 28th, 2019. Council just adjourned from a interview of candidates for committees, boards, and also an executive session to discuss a personnel matter. And Councilmember Skauskas, would you lead us in the invocation of the pledge, please?
Since yesterday was the one-year anniversary of the mass shooting at the Tree of Life Synagogue, I would like to have a moment of silent meditation or remember the victims of that horrible act. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes from September?
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Are there any additions or corrections that need to be added to the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor of adopting all of September's minutes indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Minutes are approved. Under announcements, I'd like to invite Jim Price, who is the manager from Sustainable Pittsburgh, to come forward for his presentation. You can use that podium right there.
Thank you, and I'd just like to clarify, I'm the program manager. I'm not the manager of Sustainable Pittsburgh, so don't want my boss to hear this and think that I got promoted.
Been promoted.
Thank you. Thank you, Council President Zachary. And thank you for your commitment to sustainability. I wrote down some remarks just to make a statement today. Sustainable Pittsburgh, we're in our 21st year of providing leadership in sustainability for Southwestern Pennsylvania. We work with businesses, with academia, with nonprofits, and of course with local governments to advance the policies and practices of sustainability. That means improving the economic and environmental outcomes so that people have the opportunity to live to their potential and thrive in the region and in your community. Sustainable Pennsylvania, what I'll talk about today, is a voluntary performance recognition program that we administer in collaboration with the Pennsylvania Municipal League statewide, and it's a program that's formally recognized by the Commonwealth's Department of Community and Economic Development. It is an excellent tool to assess and benchmark your government's progress towards sustainability, and gives you a leg up when you earn certification because it's recognized on their formal grant-making process at the state level. So in April of 2017, then Councilmember Zachary reached out to Sustainable Pittsburgh and invited us to come to a Environmental Advisory Committee meeting and to talk about the certification. It was an hour-long meeting. I usually present for about 15 or 10 minutes, but they kept me for an hour. They asked all these fantastic questions, and we had a great conversation about what McCandless could do to earn this certification and move forward with sustainability. Over the next 2 years, I met with numerous members of the EAC, such as Shelley and numerous others, and Jason, and we worked extensively with John Bajarski. And this summer, McCandless took advantage of the local government academy's municipal internship program and brought on Macy Holloway to join John to do some of that administrative work to move McCandless over the edge to get towards earn that certification. EAC and the town has done many laudable things, and I'm going to mention a few of them. The town created some of this stuff is previous to the certification, but some of it has happened since working on the certification. The town has a green space inventory map, and now they're using the Environmental Advisory Council to benchmark that every year and to move forward with priorities. The town has passed a resolution in support of minority and women-owned businesses to elevate the work of those community members. The Environmental Advisory Committee has held regular events and sessions to increase sustainability and environmental awareness, including, for example, conducting site visits to review compliance with town's businesses and with commercial establishments to encourage increased recycling. And they specifically highlighted your own communities, what they call A-plus recyclers. And that's a great way to move people forward in the work that they're doing. McCandless has made significant efforts to improve sustainability communication and transparency via your website. And you're beginning to track your energy use using Energy Star in Portfolio Manager, which is a way to benchmark your energy use, save the taxpayer money, and improve and lower your carbon footprint. And then McCandless created a sustainability plan for the town and backed it up with a program that they were going to use to implement and support that plan, and demonstrating a solid commitment to sustainability and a commitment to continuous improvement. So ultimately, McCandless scored 194 points in our program and only missed the highest designation by the slimmest of margins. You answered yes to a whopping 94 out of 131 questions. And it should be noted that not a single community who's applied for this has ever earned the highest recognition the first time around, and you missed it by just a few points. So, to recognize that demonstrates both the rigor of the program and how difficult it is, but also the noteworthiness of this accomplishment. So thank you, Council President Zachary, for championing this program, and on behalf of the town, and especially John Macy, who did this great work, and all the members of the EAC who were pushing it the entire way, we would like to present you with a plaque noting that you're a certified gold community in the Sustainable Pennsylvania certification, and commend you on behalf of Sustainable Pittsburgh, the Pennsylvania Municipal League, and the Department of Community and Economic Development. So, if you like that. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you so much.
I wanted to thank especially special thanks to Shelley Sponholz, who was the EAC project manager and was a driving force behind keeping this project moving forward. Everyone who was involved in this project at all, even the smallest way, would you stand up? EAC members, council members who supported it. There were a lot of people that worked really hard on this, and I appreciate you. I love the quote by Dr. Hood that says, "Don't underestimate the power of your vision to change the world, whether that world is in your office, your community, an industry, or global movement. You want to have the core belief that what you contribute can fundamentally change the paradigm or way of thinking about problems. One of the most rewarding aspects of my community service has been the interaction with the caring people of this town, and I thank you all for allowing me to serve." Thank you, Jim, for this. Now I'd like to recognize two community organizations. The first of which is NAWA, the North Allegheny Women's Association. The number one priority of the North Allegheny Women's Association, or NAWA, is service. They are committed to 4 service events a year and 4 speaking engagements from area nonprofit organizations. They also support individual women experiencing personal hardships. This service promotes camaraderie and connection among its members. This group takes to heart loving your neighbor by directly touching the lives of those in our community and each other. Will the members of NAWA that are present please come forward? Hi. The plaque says Certification of Appreciation. This certificate presented to the North Allegheny Women's Association in appreciation and with great esteem. The town of McCandless wishes to recognize the North Allegheny Women's Association for its many community services and charitable endeavors. all very much. The next one is to our Northland Public Library. Amy, do you want to come up? It would take another whole meeting to go into all the great events and hard work and the activities that the library supplies North Allegheny. But we did want to give you this certificate of appreciation to the Northland Public Library in recognition of your more than 50 years of providing high-quality library services, offering a wide variety of programming for children and adults, as well as the recently completed construction of your innovative learning garden. I know, you're so proud.
We're so proud of
I
that.
know.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll find a good place for this. Reports of committees, Finance and Personnel Committee.
I move to approve check listing number 10 dated September 5th, 2019 through October 9th, 2019, totaling $2,081,082.40 as submitted to each member of council and posted on the bulletin board and town website.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Are there any comments or questions from anyone in council? Any comments or questions from any citizens concerning the checklist? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Checklist is approved.
I move to approve resolution number 25 of the 2019 series, a resolution setting dates of various meetings of town council and town boards, commissions, and authorities for the 2020 calendar year.
Second.
This is just the dates of all the meetings that will be on the calendar that will be mailed out later this year. Are there any?
Somebody has a comment.
Has a comment.
It's not time for citizen comments yet. Are there any changes or comments from anyone in council? Any corrections or comments from anyone in the audience? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's approved. 3.
I move to approve resolution number 26 of the 2019 series, a resolution authorizing the 2019 allocation of the General Municipal Pension System aid.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Any questions or comments about this? Any comments or questions from citizens? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Services Committee?
I move to accept the 2020 Northland Public Library Authority Board of Trustees proposed budget.
Second the motion.
Are there any questions or comments about the budget? Any questions or comments from the audience about the proposed library budget? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Public Works.
Move to award a contract to C. Crump Inc., the lowest responsible bidder for the Brittany Place Drive Stream Bank Restoration Project to be completed on an unnamed tributary north of Patricia Drive and west of Brittany Place at a total bid price of $73,250.
Second.
Okay. There's been a motion and a second. Is there any question about this? Should we have a contest to name this unnamed tributary? That might be fun. Any questions or comments from any of the audience? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Public Safety.
Move to award the 2019 Officer of the Year award to K-9 Officer Joy and his handler Sergeant Brian Madden.
Second.
There is a motion and a second. All those are there any questions at all? Or comments from anyone in council? We should vote on this before we. Any questions or comments from anyone in the audience? Okay. Hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We will now have the presentation.
Thank you, Madam President. Good evening. I'm eager to announce this year's Albert Devlin Memorial McCandless Police Officer of the Year Award. Tonight, we will honor K-9 Officer Joy and his handler, Sergeant Brian Madden. Through their combined teamwork, they have gone above and beyond their normal duty by their dedication, proactivity, loyalty, and service to both our police department and our community. As a lifelong resident of the town of McCandless, Sergeant Madden has served this police department for 27 years and was one of the youngest McCandless in history to be promoted to the position of sergeant. He is an excellent command officer that demands that his work is done correctly every single day. I'm very, very proud of Brian. Sergeant Madden is enthusiastic, hardworking, passionate, who has always taken great pride in helping others and has an impeccable work ethic. He has advanced the department's technology through decades with his expertise and knowledge. There's not a time, morning or night, that Brian and I can't talk to each other. If it's 2 or 3 in the morning, he answers. He unselfishly does something really special. He volunteers his time as a police officer, and I commend him for that. Among his many talents during his 25 years of service, when most officers are preparing for retirement, in an entrance interview, when I came back as chief, Sergeant Madden expressed to me his lifelong dream to be a K-9 handler. Despite that, the intense training that was going to come up, in 2017, graciously, the McCandless Council, both past and present, I thank, supported this program, and Sergeant Madden's dream became a reality. I'm extremely proud and inspired by Sergeant Madden's dedication and passion, along with Joy, who is by far my favorite employee. As a dual-purpose K-9 certified in narcotics detection, tracking, searches, and apprehension, Joy's numerous skills are ultimately a success of Sergeant Madden's knowledge and experience throughout his years as a dedicated volunteer worker for the American Kennel Club and an evaluator and trainer for many professional dogs. It's with great deep gratitude for the positive image of Joy's presence it has brought in our community. Everybody knows Joy. It has been one of our best public relations that we could ever imagine in the schools. We wanted the dog that fit the community, and Joy's fit the community, and I commend Brian for how Joy is handled. One quick story. In the fall of 2018, Sergeant Madden and K-9 Joy were requested to respond to a McCandless resident to help locate a juvenile runaway who had been missing for over 18 hours from the Holy Family Institute in Ohio Township. The boy did not speak a word of English and was spotted running through a heavily wooded area behind Memorial Drive. K-9 Joy was successful in finding the juvenile sitting behind a tree after an hour-long search in very, very dense cover and brush. Because of the language barrier, the boy was scared, cold, and hungry and did not respond to verbal commands from the police. The boy most likely would have not been for Joy, and Sergeant Madden would have been lost for a long time, and it could have been a very poor outcome. At this time, too, want to recognize with deepest, fondest memories, we have a very special guest in the audience tonight. I had a privilege of working with her daughter, who was one of the best police officers that I ever worked as a field training officer and a sergeant. And she is fondly remembered in our hearts. Officer Sabrina Bermheimer Demereau, who served here at the McCandless Police Department and passed away very unexpectedly at a young age. Sabrina and I stayed close even when I left McCandless, and her lifetime dream was to be a K-9 officer. And Melanie has supported this program in every way she can, and she's a generous supporter. and she's here tonight, and I wanted to recognize you and thank you for being here. And we will never, ever forget your daughter. She was a wonderful human being and a wonderful police officer. At this time, Carolyn, would you please join me? We have the plaque, and Sergeant Madden, would you come up? And at this time, I want to officially congratulate you as the winner of Officer of the Year. Thank you. And we have medals. We have medals that Councilman Schwider will present to both Joy and to Sergeant Madden. You having trouble?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll get. There you go. This one's open. I'll get the other one.
I would also like to add, on behalf of town council, we all are proud of you guys and appreciate the work you do, and I'd like to thank you for everything.
Thank you. It could probably fit right there.
You know, these meetings are long. I don't blame Joy sometimes. And this one, I want to try to put on Joy. Nope, I'm sorry. I'll leave it at the podium. Sergeant Madden, you'd like to say a few words?
I would, thank you. Chief, I think you should get an award for that introduction. Wow. Thank you very much. Good evening. I would like to first say thank you, Chief. First of all, for that introduction, for creating this award to recognize officers, and also for all of the hard work that you did to make this K-9 program a reality. I appreciate that very much. I'd like to thank you, members of council, for not only approving the program in 2017, but for your continued support for the program. I'd like to thank my fellow officers who support the program, and for those officers who nominated us for this award. I'd like to thank Melanie for your unwavering support of the program and of K-9 Joy. I know that, are you done? Or do you want to talk to? Your support is greatly appreciated. And I know it's in honor of your daughter and my dear friend Sabrina. I'd like to thank my friends who are here tonight to support me and who support me all the time. And members of the community who not only welcomed K-9 Joy, but who also have shown tremendous support for him and for the program. I'd also like to thank my mother, who was my biggest fan. She was always my biggest supporter, and I know that she has a big hand in making all this happen for me. I used to take my dogs to visit her, and she always greatly enjoyed that. It brought a big smile to her face. And I know that she always told me that it brought her a lot of joy to interact with my dogs. And here he is with that name. So I know she had a hand in it. Chief, members of council, those of you who are in attendance, and the millions of you watching at home, I am deeply honored and very privileged to be here tonight. To have this program is a huge asset to our police department and the community, And also, as I've said before, it is a dream come true for me. Despite many obstacles, including the hands of time, here we are. And we're making the best of it. And it's all possible because you, Chief, and you members of council, you believed in me. And you had the vision to see the benefits of adding a canine officer to the town. Belief makes dreams possible. Thank you.
We have a plaque too that hangs on it for this all. Thank you.
Is there any new business from town council? This is the time for public comment now. If you have a comment that you would like to make, it does not have to be on the agenda items. Please come forward to the microphone and state your name and.
Citizens?
Yes.
Name is Joe Marple, 9499 Catherine Drive. I'd like to thank you, council members, for the opportunity. About the situation we have, I think I was looking at it wrong. We live in an R1 single-family neighborhood, very strict in an R1 single-family neighborhood. We have one dwelling per lot in a single family on section R1 1350. The people that question the coons, bandies, they're running a dog shelter, a satellite dog shelter. 20-some dogs. It don't make no difference how many dogs there were or other animals. It's not allowed in an R1 single family by town rules. Running a shelter, there's no oversight. They're not inspected, and whoever gives them, whether they're the Humane Society or whatever, Animal Friends on Camp Horn Road, there's this farming out these dogs in different areas with no oversight because they have to be inspected. Very strict rules by Pennsylvania. If you run a dog shelter, a kennel, they have to be paperwork filled out 4 times a day. They have to change all the stuff. During the fire, the fire department stated the place was in horrendous condition, hoarders, unsafe, firemen's lives were in jeopardy. If it was inspected by some kind of body that inspects animal shelters or whatever, this would never be the case. People's lives would be put in jeopardy. This property has been a blight. There's all kind of things up there. Picnic pavilions, sheds, charred, unsafe building. There's trailers, there's pods, a couple of gazebos that are closed in, housing cats, chickens, whatever. Wooden sheds, overgrown shrubs, signs. This is an R1, ladies and gentlemen. I think the courts will find in our favor. Lawyer, you should know that, and so should you. In an R1, it's not a commercial area. So we were looking at numbers of dogs. You can't have a shelter in a single family R1, section 1350 in McCandless Township. When I came back from Florida, I go to Florida during the winter. I was amazed that the building was there. But there was an insurance agent from Santa Rosa. He said in his 40 years of being an insurance agent, he has never seen such a lot of buildings sitting there and how that could progress. And nobody cares. Our council member didn't care about our neighborhood or the rest of the council. An unsafe building sitting out there for 5 months.
Then instead of showing up the next day with a bulldozer like the city of Pittsburgh and other municipalities, they go to the owner and say, well, you take the building down. That ain't how that works. The building comes down immediately, was deemed unsafe by McCandless Township. How does it sit there with that liability? We're worried about 10 cents for sidewalks, the cost. You know what the lawsuit would be if somebody got killed up there, some kids? It'd be very astronomical. So the question is, how does this go, like, and no one cares what goes on in our neighborhood? Trailers are not allowed. That's the ordinances. I don't see it in here. You show me if I'm wrong. So the question is, this place, along with all the other issues here, this sits up there, and everyone looks the other way. You council has a responsibility to protect the homeowners. There's an election coming up. At least we're going to get 3 new members. And maybe it's going to change. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comments. Are there any other citizen comments? All right. Hearing none, we will not adjourn at this time, but we're going to continue this business meeting on November 11th. At 7:30 p.m. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. There's a motion and a second for our business meeting to be continued on November 11th. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Business meeting will be continued. Thank you.